So I had some issues with my camera setup, so I just started the stream again. Uh, so I'll grab a piece of cloth and so just to quickly repeat what is happening. This is a Macbook Air 1466 with liquid damage, and it is actually wasn't turning on when my friend was trying to do it, but she sent me the laptop a few weeks later, so it's right now it's turning on. So when I received the laptop, I just removed the battery to prevent any like just for sorry, no, it's the battery is plugged in. So the battery is in the laptop, but it is not plugged in. So we'll quickly open this thing up. So a quick tip for people who accidentally spilled water or any liquid on their MacBooks or any other laptop uh, which does not have a user removable battery. Uh, what I recommend for those people is that you get a corresponding bit. So I'm not sure if you can see this. This is a 5-pointed star bit, which Apple uses on their laptops. So I recommend you get this this bit and a screwdriver attachment to go with it, so that you can, in case you spill water on your or any liquid on your laptop, you are able to unplug the battery. So what happens is uh, if you're able to unplug the battery, you can prevent a lot of damage that might happen if the battery is connected. So the best thing to do whenever you uh, spill liquid on any electronic device is to unplug power. And if it's a battery powered device, you unplug the battery. So there won't be any like electricity induced damage in the circuitry. Once you're able to wait long enough for the liquid to dry out, you can plug the battery back in or power back in, and like work on your devices. There won't be any issue if it's just water damage. Generally, if you wait long enough without power, you will you will not face any issues once the thing is dried up. So I'm just quickly opening this up, and so if I point the camera to just quickly show you what I'm doing with the screws is I have this organizer pad which I'm storing my screws in the order which I'm taking out the screws. So just to repeat, I had already opened this laptop up and disconnected the battery to prevent any unexpected damage. So we are remove all the screws on the back panel. So this has some dust. We'll clean that up. And let's see, I can show you some liquid damage on this board. So if you can see right here, how far can I go here? If you can see right here, you can see that there is some kind of weird greenish color on this on, on the solder joints. That is mostly liquid damage, and that is all around the board. So although this machine is still running, so I've disconnected the battery here. The machine is still running, but I've planned to clean it up so that functions normally in the future and there is no unexpected damage happening. So if you can see this part here, this has some rust on it, and so that is because again of the liquid. So we'll try to clean up this thing as much as possible without damaging any of the components, and then we'll put this back together. So then if you can see, there is a dead spider stuck here as well. So a lot going on inside this laptop. Let's quickly so is to keep track of what I'm removing and what not. I'm now like the to stay in correct order. I'm sort of using help of iFixit repair guide. So and I'll quickly connect my laptop to the put my laptop on charge. Cool. So I've already disconnected the battery. Let's get into other things. So let me get some more tools here so that my job gets easier. So I hope you can see the whole thing. Yeah. So disconnect this cable that goes to the I/O board. So this, okay, it's it. So using a plastic spudger, using a metal spudger can damage your So cool. So we'll get back to this. So we'll remove this cable altogether. This cable goes here. Next we socket. We flip the cable. Sorry, we flip the retaining flap. Okay. So we're removing the rubber gasket on top of the fan. It's off. Now what we need to do is to unscrew these. So this is a box bit, so we'll use that. It's a T5. So T5 here. Goes in perfectly. So I'm keeping track of those screws in what order and from where I'm removing it. So I'm using iFixit disassembly guide to help me with that. Because these screws, there are different screws being used in different places. The head might be same, but the lengths are different. So we get this fan off. Uh, so we removed all the 3 screws here. Okay, time to remove the fan. So we carefully pull this flex cable here and the fan is off. So now we are supposed to remove this cable, power cable of the IO board. Seems like it's very stuck in there pretty good. Okay, not too much, but it took some pressure to take this off. So fireboard power cable is off. We'll move on to the next thing. So this speaker cable right here is connected to the I/O board. We will use our spudger to take that out. Okay. Let's go under this cable and then try it out. It's off. Now the microphone doesn't do it. So it's out of the way. So there's a tape covering the microphone cable, I think. So I've hit that retaining flap. So now we use our T5 aux bit to remove the board of this. So it's pretty tight. It was quite firmly screwed in place. So we'll remove that. Okay. So the webcam cable is coming through here, and I'm quickly checking Facebook. I shared the live stream on Facebook, so let me check that. Cool. So okay, let me quickly share the stream on Twitter as well. So in order to, so what we need to do is this cable is going through the board here. So now we need to okay. Okay. Now okay. Yes. Okay, this is done. Out of the way, and now we need to remove the board and the board. Slide out. Okay, now the board is off. I mean the IO board. So this IO board has the charging port and USB port and a audio jack. So 3 ports there, and as you can probably see that the charging port here, because yeah, the charging port here has some uh, iron dust stuck to the magnet of the MagSafe charger. So that sort of the brownish dust that you see is some of it is cool. So we'll clean that up later. The IO board, I want to keep the IO board on the ESD mat itself. So that is that. And now we are off to the next step. Okay. So now we are on to the battery. So our battery has again T5 torque screws. So we'll remove these 3 first. Okay, this is a T5 bit. Battery comes off once you so 3 top screws are off. Move on to the next 3. No, there's only 2 screws here. Cool. So 1 screw, bottom screw is off. On to the right one. Right one is off. Now we lift the battery up. So the battery is off. Battery, keep the battery on the side here. So actually, I'll share the link with a friend whose laptop this is. So what do we do? Okay. So we onto the logic board now. So there is this securing this thing securing the so this is securing, this locks the display cable into place. So we'll do that, and now this is off. Display cable is off. There's a lot of dirt around here. So, okay. So this is a Wi-Fi antenna. Sorry, Wi-Fi adapter. So we'll disconnect the antenna cables. So yesterday I fixed uh, these cables on a Lenovo IdeaPad, which the cables were crushed under the damaged hinge of the so the shorter one. So is it actually there is a difference? Okay, let's see. So there are two coaxial Wi-Fi antenna type cables. So those are off. And then this camera cable right here. 1 second. So this is a webcam cable right here. So we will disconnect that. Okay. So Camera cable is off. That was okay, cool. We're good in this one. On to the next step. Use a trackpad ribbon cable. Okay. So trackpad is right here. We use the okay. And trackpad cable is off. Now so this is the keyboard backlight cable. Again, we use the spudger to flip up the retaining flap on the connector. Okay. And that is off. Now we move on to the speaker cable right here. We'll go from under the connector and we'll okay. So okay, flip the board. I think it will make the job easier. Seems to be coming off. It is off. So now I think all our cables are off. SSD is still plugged into the logic board. So I think now we are ready to remove the screws off of this board. So if the screw is very tightly secured in place, I'm using this for leverage. The other screwdriver I'm using it as leverage to easily open up the screw here. It is quite tightly secured in place. Or is it just the Loctite that they put? So you see the blue stuff that is supposed to prevent the screw from, like, makes it harder for the screw to come out. So
it's 8 o'clock.
Okay, thanks for that update. So now we are off with the third one. And it becomes very easy to open a screw like this. So 2 more to go. This is the last one of the lot. Cool. So I think all the screws are off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws are off. Now supposed to remove the screws retaining the antenna cable here. So these are T8. So let's see if we have T8 here. I think we do have T8 here. We try T9. Not sure if this is in view. This is in view. Let's take these off. Okay. So that retaining flap is remove the screws for that. Okay, so there is a screw hidden underneath this the antenna cables. That's why we have to remove this. So this screw is securing the screw. So this these two cables were hiding this screw that is securing the heatsink uh, to the case. So finger. Seems like it's off, but it's not out. So we'll quickly use a small magnet to pull this out. Okay. These screws are not magnetic. seems, or is it? We pull out a bigger magnet here. Okay, it's still not completely undone, is it? Yep, still was in place. So we are gonna put our screw in our okay. So now we are off to the speaker. There is glue, there is adhesive stuff that's sticking the speaker to the case. We'll try and remove the glue. I think it should come off pretty easily now. Don't want to snap the case, the speaker case. Okay, it's pretty strong adhesive here. So now you can see where the sound comes from. So now in an air, the sound comes from this area, which is where the keyboard is, right here. Underneath this is the keyboard. So the sound comes from here. So that's where it comes from. Camera, sorry, your speaker is off. Right one. Now I think it's time to remove the logic board off of the board. And I think we should be hoping to see some good damage here. So should okay, our board is off. And I see some liquid damage here, but not a lot. So I think this is some liquid damage, but rest of it doesn't look that bad. This is the so these 4 chips right here are your RAM, and yep, I don't see a lot of liquid damage, but we'll clean this up anyway because we don't want any damage in the future. So okay. So we are onto the logic board now. So we'll put this whole thing to the side, concentrate on the logic board. So my question to you guys is, should I or should I not try one, like open the processor, the heatsink off of the processor and see if there is how good the thermal paste is, and if it's not good, we'll replace it. So I don't know if there is only one of you out there. So anyway, you can comment on the stream if you want me to check underneath. Generally, Apple is known to put like not really good uh, thermal paste. So this is also secured pretty tightly onto this. So the SSD is off. So honestly speaking, I was expecting that this disassembly to be more complicated, but thankfully it's not that complicated. And yeah, so SSD is off. So our SSD is a Samsung. This is a 128 GB drive. So can you see Samsung on this? Yep. So this is a, I think this is an inductor which is rusted a little bit. So that so I'm planning to one of these days uh, clean my board and replace the thermal paste also. I have the same exact laptop as this one. So that side, this side looks good. We still need to do the water damage cleaning, so we will do that with some alcohol. Okay, this side is clean. Let's see how much dust there is on this side. Oh, here is some liquid damage right here. Uh, so to put out some alcohol to clean this board on. So where is my alcohol? So I'll quickly get my alcohol while you guys are looking at this sweet, like nice little board. So we have our bottle of alcohol right here, a bit far away actually. And so guys, whoever is watching might want to, if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the chat. So, so we need some few tips for this cleanup. Can I remove this corrosion due to liquid damage there? Let's see, we'll have to wait for it to dry up. There's some green stuff corroded. Copper, is it? Or is it something else? Okay. The rest of the board looks quite clean actually. On this side at least. Okay. Seems fine on this side. Let's go on the other side and clean up some of that corrosion. So you see some corrosion here, I guess. I'm not sure. It's not very zoomed in at the moment. So this is our so I think I need some cotton or like piece of cloth to get in here. So there's a lot of corrosion right here. There is some liquid damage here. This chip. So seems pretty clean on this side as well as this side. Now we are into the can I get between these? Yeah, I can get between this. Okay, there is a lot of cleaning to do. Okay. So I'm trying to spot more liquid damage on the board. The other side. I think it looks good. It's not too bad. The board looks pretty good now. Some minor remnants are there. Clean them up. Right here. think I will open up the heatsink off of the processor. Because I want to see how good the paste is on this. So we have the to see how good the oh, it still seems wet. So I think I'll just let it be and not replace it. Or should I? For now, I don't replace it. And use this opportunity to clean down the heatsink. Okay, so we'll put this back on. So I think I should get good quality thermal paste to replace such replace the thermal board on such board because I've heard that the thermal paste that Apple uses is not great. So what I'll do is probably do a test before replacing the thermal paste, and then do a test again with the new thermal paste to see how good the performance is. here. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll remove the Wi-Fi adapter. So okay. So quite firmly held in place. Okay. Seems to be some liquid damage on this. So let's clean that up. I think I'll let it dry out. Let it for a little bit. Now try and clean this a little bit more. Cool. I think this is done. Okay. So let's put this back in. I think we are ready to start assembling. Sorry. So before I do that, clean up the fireboard. The fireboard looks quite dirty, but it doesn't seem to be much liquid damage on this. Actually, any liquid damage. It's quite dirty. We'll fix that. Okay, so I think we should quickly start reassembling this. The RAM looks pretty good. Sorry, SSD looks pretty good. Give it a nice wipe. Cool. So it's clean. All of this is clean. Before putting it together, we need to clean this thing as well. So I don't want to dirty all the stuff that is already there here. So I'll clean this off. Out the side. That is actually not a lot of dirt. I think my MacBook has more dirt than this. So that is the dirt. So clean that off on the floor. Cool. So cleaning the brush is done, but I'll clean this with alcohol as well.
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you for that. I think I should quickly wrap this up before I get late for breakfast. So here on to the upper side of the case. So these magnets. Yep. Magnets. So this keyboard is actually sealed everywhere except this part. So time for the dead spider. Actually. Okay, so poor little thing died in here. Leg comes off. It's crumbling, so I'll push it out. So that's a dead spider, if you can see. It's just the remnants of the dead. It's not even, it's just the head. It's a dead spider anyway. So clean up this area. So I think it's time to put it back together. I think we've cleaned enough. Time to put it back together. So let's reverse the steps we just did. So I'll remove the it's right here. Remove the SSD off this board. So I'll put the SSD back in first, and then I'll come back to this reassembly. So if you're wondering, you can't use this SSD with your, I mean, directly you can't use this with your laptop. It's a proprietary Apple connector. So you need a specific adapter to What do you say? 0.85 mm. Okay. So you need a separate adapter to use this SSD if you want to use another M.2 SSD on your Apple laptop, like this board, because new ones, even on the new Retina MacBooks, there is you can't really. Okay, sorry for that to the owner of this laptop. I don't think anything is off. So yeah, you cannot use you cannot directly use the M.2 drive on this board, but you can there you get an adapter which lets you use a typical M.2 drive on the board. So if you can't find, if you want to upgrade or you destroy your SSD, you can still, on these older boards you can. On the newer ones, the SSD is soldered onto the motherboard, on the logic board, so can't really do much. I mean, you can really, in that also you can, but then you have to have a good soldering iron and a good hot air station to be able to replace anything on the new boards. And it's not easy. So this is back on. We'll put the logic board back in the case. So logic board should go right here. We want to keep this cables up. Here. So see if we are aligned. Okay. Quickly I will add this and check the. Okay. Go down the side. I think our board is nicely seated in place. Just need to bolt it down. So these cables are above the board. Okay, so this is good. I think we need to push the this is good. So next step is to put the right speaker back on. Where is the right speaker? Okay. We can give it a quick clean before we put it back on. So we put this back on right here. Nicely sets into place. Okay. Okay, so now supposed to put the heatsink screw on here. Heatsink screw is on. Now we put the antenna cable. The two screws retaining the antenna cable. So one goes here, the other one okay. So the hinge screws are on. Then time to put the screws for the logic board back on. So screw number three is going in. So I'm lightly putting all the screws in and then I'll tighten all of them. So number four is going in. Screw number five going in. The last screw in the lot is going in. So quickly put them in, then tighten all of them. So something I want to show you guys is, see this plastic part in the hinge is cracked. So the reason is that uh, it was shipped it was shipping damage. So when it was shipped from Delhi to Bangalore, the I mean you know how the service providers, the logistics providers, all these companies, how they handle the packages. So it wasn't really very packed very in a very good condition. So sort of bound to happen this damage. So I think when you're shipping laptops, you should use, if you can, use the original packaging of the laptop. And if you cannot, package it really well, then make a so how it came packaged was in a thin layer of bubble wrap, which wasn't quite enough. So these six screws are on, and we are on to the next step of reassembly. So we will put this speaker cable back in. It goes in very easily. We will put the keyboard backlight inside this. Okay. So the small trick which I learned a while ago when you're not able to plug in a cable is use a piece of tape, stick it to the cable and pull it to the side you want to. So I think it won't go in any further. Okay, solid. First pull out the retainer flap and this, the cable in, tighten it down, it's pretty solid. Okay, so that is done. Move on to the camera cable connector. So It's in place. Cable connector is in place. So now on to the next step. So what we do is put back our coaxial antenna cables here. Oh no, no. Okay. So our cables right here. Coaxial cables for the Wi-Fi antenna. The connectors go in. Now okay. So our little display connector needs to be plugged in. So we'll do that. Cool. So this is done. We'll put the retainer clip back on. Okay, so now time for the battery to go back in. So our battery just sits here between the two speakers and the bottom. Didn't really clean the battery, so I'll just give it a quick clean. The battery goes back in. We'll put the screws for the battery. Oh. And we have our 3 long screws for the battery. I want to quickly measure this screw length because I fixed it mentions screw length. So I want to see if the length they mention is from tip to tip or is it only the shaft. So it looks like okay. So this is good. This is tip to tip. So that's good. It's easier to measure. Screw goes back in place. Our battery is soon to be bolted down to the case. So I really like this version of the MacBook Air. I really hate the new ones because the the one thing that is replaceable on this and the keyboard. I mean, this and the keyboard is much better than the new ones. So yeah, probably if I upgrade to a new laptop, I will probably not buy a MacBook again because of this problem. So time to put the logic IO board back in. It's looking quite dirty. I'll give it a quick clean again. Put it back in. Won't be easy. Okay, it's in place. Okay. We need to put the camera cable in this notch here. Doesn't want to go in. Okay. So our camera cable is back in. We need to put this screw back in place. 4.1 mm. Okay. 4.1 mm seems. Oh, this goes here. Okay, let me see, turn off the light and see how bad the lighting is. It's not too bad. I think you can see that, huh? So, good morning, anyone who's joining in now. I know there is only one person right here, but that's okay. So, IO board is in. Okay. So now what do we do? What do we do? So we put all the cables back on. Is what we do. So cable is back on. This is back on. This is the speaker, and this is the, what is this? Microphone cable. Now it's time for what? The IO board power cable should be back on now. So let's goes in. Now it's time to put the fan back on. The fan is a little dirty, so clean that. Fan is clean. So the fan goes back in like so. So we put the 4.4 mm first. Right here. The screw goes in here. Then we got the screw. That's tight. We put the long screw back here. Okay, these screws are back on. And now what do we have? So we have this just one IO data cable that's remaining, is what I'm guessing. Oh, now we have this fan cable also. What will we do without the fan? So okay. Fan cable goes in, and now last piece of the puzzle is the eye bolt connector. Give that a quick clean. Okay. There we go. Now this goes on like this. Okay, it's probably on or not. Okay, that was a satisfying click. Or am I connecting it the wrong way? Found. Yep. Supposed to go not over the fan. Although the connectors are exactly the same. So this goes back on like this. So I think everything is back on. Only the battery is off. We'll put the battery back in. Should we try and turn this on? I think battery had some charge when I okay, nothing sad. Did I miss a piece of? Let's see. I think the battery is not connected. I'll put charger in. Okay, battery is charging. It's a good sign. And it turns on. And the fan is spinning. It's fan spin. Battery is charging. Or is it? So the battery indicator on the charging indicator doesn't work. But battery seems to be charging. I'll quickly get off. Try to measure that. On the charger, plug in this power meter in the adapter. Plug in the charger into the out. And we check the pulling 20 watts. So if I would have disconnect this, still running. Pulling only 20 watts. So I'm not sure. I'll probably restart it and see what is happening. It's pulling more power now. It's pulling 45 watts. And number going up. So let's see. I think this is done. And I just have to put the back lid on. So I'll see you in another repair video. So bye bye.